Welcome back to Making Money Matter, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Kerry Stevenson. And look who I've got here today, Peter Duerden. He's the Managing Director of Waratah Minerals. The ASX code is WTM. Now, I thought I'd be speaking to Peter in his office, but clearly not. He's got his shirt on. And Peter, where are you? Lots of stuff in the background there. Where are you?
Yeah, hi Kerry, great to be with you.
Yeah.
Today I'm down at the core library in Western Sydney, having a look over some core from our Spur project area and learning a lot and adding a lot of value.
For those that don't understand, because I just want to make this clear, there's sometimes I have people on the channel and they go, "What is core?"
Yeah, drill core. Over decades of exploration in New South Wales, core's extracted out of the ground, and various explorers will have different exploration strategies, or might not have assayed for gold or base metals, and so the government collates those materials and stores them in places like this. These facilities are amazing places to come and re-access core and re-assay for gold. In the case of the Spur project, Waratah's project in New South Wales, we're finding a lot of core hadn't been re-assayed for gold, and certain sort of key pathfinder elements that we like that can help vector us into to mineralisation that we're looking for.
Okay,
So,
we're going to get on to projects and all that sort of stuff, but this is the first time you've been on Making Money Matter. So just a brief overview of who are Waratah Minerals, and then I'm going to get into some detail because I think I was looking at late last year, and then I looked again today. Your share price has had a very healthy rise of about almost 60% since sort of late last year. I want to get into that in the moment, but who are you? Who's Waratah?
yeah, no problem. Yeah, no, we've been hard to keep track of lately. We've had a process, a name change in January, which is still fairly fresh, which reflects a change in strategy for the company. Previously, we were known as Battery Minerals,
Mm-hmm.
and the company had been focused in graphite in Mozambique,
Mm-hmm.
and we've been pivoting over the last few years to gold in particular, plays in Australia. And that sort of culminated recently with the acquisition of our Spur project here in New South Wales, which we see as sort of an imminent, very exciting discovery opportunity.
Okay, I last spoke to you on another channel, which it was almost a year ago, and I remember we spoke graphite and we spoke about your Victorian assets. Why the change in strategy?
Well, ultimately, we're looking for the quickest way we can make a economically significant discovery. My background as an exploration geologist is gold and copper largely, so I can sort of bring a bit of value to the table as far as acquiring the asset at Spur. We're bringing some different ideas to the table in terms of our targeting there, and we've just announced some drill results this week, which is sort of helping vindicate our approach. So we really feel we're onto something very significant there at Spur. So exciting times for us, and the company's in lean shape. We're very focused in terms of the discovery and what it can do for our value.
Okay, so let's go back. There was an announcement, as you just said, just made an announcement about some results at Spur, but let's talk about how you came to get your hands on Spur, because from what I understand, it's very close to Cadia, and the Cadia Ridgeway mine is it's one of the world's largest gold producers, best assets. So you're close to that. Tell us how you got your hands on it and why you like it so much.
Yeah, exactly, Kerry. I mean, it is very, very close, 5 kilometres off the boundary of Newmont's, arguably premier asset there at Cadia Valley. A major producer, globally significant mining operation, about 10 kilometres from the actual plant itself. In the same rocks, we're demonstrating ticking all the boxes in terms of the similarities with some of the mineralisation at Cadia Valley. So we are very much looking for Cadia style porphyry mineralisation and gold epithermal style mineralisation. So and we're bringing a different targeting strategy to the table, which is always important. Some of these areas have been worked on before by different explorers over the years. So why hasn't it been found? Well,
Mm.
we can definitely show you, that we're using different thinking. We're exploring in a different area in that same district in the tenement, and so far so good. The results are very pleasing to see. We're seeing evidence for very similar style mineralisation to the Cadia Valley ore bodies.
Wow. Okay, so what have you done so far? And we'll get into what you're going to do in the future, because clearly the market likes what you're doing. Your share price has had a bit of a rise recently, but what are you doing now? You just said a moment ago you're looking at it in a different way, because I said to you before, how do you get your hands on it? Because if it's potentially as good as you might think it is, because you've said it's very similar rocks to Cadia, which is a massive Newmont project, if you like. What are you doing that you're suddenly finding the I guess the gold, the prize?
Yeah, no, it's a great question, and it's right to the crux of the value proposition here. So, a lot of the Cadia style mineralisation, without getting too technical, which people that are interested can go into our releases, but historically a lot of work had been done within the main granites or intrusive complexes, but and that had been repeated throughout the Lachlan in terms of that strategy. So simplistically, we are looking outside the margins of those complexes. And when you look at Cadia Valley, when you do that, you see ore bodies like Ridgeway, 6 million ounces of high grade, one of the world's highest gold grade porphyry ore bodies.
Yep.
And you see Cadia East, 2 kilometres of gold rich porphyry, one of the monsters, tier 1 assets in the world. So that's why, we're starting to look in an area like that. When you look at that same setting at a place like the Spur project outside the intrusive complex, what you see is a lot of gold at surface, a little bit of copper. So our theory there is that the epithermal veins, which is all those carrying the gold, is actually connected to a porphyry system. So, people had seen these epithermal gold veins before and potentially hadn't appreciated the connection down plunge with a Cadia porphyry system. So we're trying to prove that link.
Sorry to interrupt you again, but when you say a porphyry system, again, for those that don't understand, why is that important? What does it mean?
Yeah, sure, Kerry. The Cadia ore bodies are described as porphyries. They're mineral systems rich in gold and copper that formed, close to intrusions, and have characteristics, that's demonstrated by the Cadia ore bodies. They can be very rich in gold, copper, molybdenum, very often globally, those systems are connected to these gold-rich epithermal veins, which is what we're seeing a swarm of there at Spur. So, we're looking for 2 high-value target styles. They're both gold and copper. We've got the porphyries, which is you only have to look over the hill to see how significant they can be in terms of your Ridgeway and your Cadia East. They're true tier 1 deposits. And the epithermal systems, which can be very significant economic discoveries in their own right. We're blessed with gold at surface. Doesn't have to be too complicated. I'm probably making it seem that way, but it's gold at surface and quite a bit of it. So we're just starting to drill underneath those gold occurrences, old drill holes, relogging old holes, noticing some porphyry indicators in those holes. We're cooperating with the Geological Survey in New South Wales, to scan. We have techniques that are available to us here whereby we can, rescan the old core and get a lot more knowledge, extract a lot more knowledge from it. Yeah.
Does that when you say you're going to scan some of the old core, is that a I guess an economic way of trying to figure out what you're going to do next in terms of looking for where this is going to expand to, if you like, this Spur copper gold project, or gold copper, I should say, probably, because it's more gold than copper, I guess?
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, I mean, this is free for us to access. We pay our license fees and rents, of course, but this is a sort of facility whereby we can extract, if we've got a particular question that we're asking on the core, which in this case we're rerunning the core and asking the question basically that is there a porphyry system at play here? is there a Cadia type porphyry ore body connected to this material? And so far so good. We're ticking the boxes. So it's smart. It's smart to tap into these resources.
Yep.
For a dynamic junior company, that we are a microcap explorer. This is how we operate. This is how we sort of low cost techniques, which get us the answers we need as quick as possible before we then start committing to drilling.
Okay, but you've done some again. Try to understand exactly where the shareholder value is going to come from in the future. You've started doing some drilling. You've done what is it, 1,100 meters or so of drilling?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, we've done 3 diamond holes, which has resulted in some extensions to gold mineralisation. We're seeing mineralised skarn, which is a technical term for the type of alteration that we're seeing in one area. That's at a place called Spur East on the eastern side of the main zone there, if you look at our presentations. And you see skarns. It's one of the factors we like there, because you see skarns at Cadia, especially above Ridgeway and above Cadia East. So, that's one of the reasons why we're encouraged from a porphyry prospectivity point of view. Yeah.
Peter, you've been around for a while. You've been a geologist for a while. I'll ask it this way: on a scale of 1 to 10, in all your time working on projects, are you a little bit excited about this one? Because this is discovery potential. You're not there yet. It's still early. What's your gut telling you?
Yeah, no, it is very, very exciting times. These stories take a time to develop, but at key moments, at key stages, you're most exposed to the discovery upside. So I think this company, Waratah, is very much at getting to that point where, if we get this right, we're looking at a near-term, very significant discovery in the East Lachlan, which is a region that's full of giant ore bodies, large, long life mining operations.
Yeah, the Lachlan Fold belt is getting a lot of attention at the moment. It seemed to all of a sudden come to life again, because Cadia has been around for a very long time, as I said earlier. That's the jewel in Newmont's stable, if you like. You're not that far away from it. Talk to us about what the next steps are, because can you go fast? What's it going to take to get it to the point where you go, do you know what, guys? We think we might have another Cadia. And I'm not saying, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, do your own research. It's early days, but it could be another Cadia, do you think? I mean, how do these rocks, you said the rocks are very similar. So does that indicate to you that there could be another one at size?
Yeah, it's an important part of it. You've got to be able to see the indicators that a system like that is there, but you've also got to see the space to fit it in. Cadia East is a 2-kilometre long ore body. So if you're only looking in a couple of 100 metres, it's a bit disingenuous to say you can find one of those.
Right.
In our case, we can demonstrate we've got a large target space, where we've been drilling, which we interpret to be the upper levels of an overall system. We've got it's greater than 3-kilometre long zone, where we think is highly prospective for a Cadia East style or a Ridgeway style. And I say that in term rather than a Cadia Hill type, because those ore bodies are outside the intrusive complex on the eastern margin. Have a look at the presentation and you'll see what I'm talking about there. So the other aspect is, do we see the indicators? We see skarns that are mineralised at Spur. We've just, only recently identified that in this latest drilling. We see massive potassium zones of pervasively, massively altered potassium feldspar, albite, and tourmaline alteration. Again, technical jargon, but that alteration is what you get over the top of Ridgeway and over the top of Cadia East.
Oh,
so we're
okay.
ticking the boxes. We're ticking the boxes that are indicating that that's the sort of system that we're chasing. Yep.
What's the next steps, Peter? As I said a little while ago, for those of people that are out there, I think your market cap's about 16 mil at the moment. Your share price, I think, was about 4 cents in December. It's now at 11 cents. Clearly, the market likes the announcement about Spur. That's the focus for Waratah going forward into 2024. I'm talking to you in April of 2024.
Yeah, I mean, these discoveries can be great value drivers for any company, but especially a company of our size. We've got good project as well installed in Western Victoria. But if you look at the portfolio of opportunities we have at the moment, Spur offers, near-term discovery potential, very substantial discovery potential. So, yeah, we're making sure we're focused there for the moment.
Drilling. I talked a
Yep.
minute ago. You've done about 1,100 meters of drilling. You're going back. You're in the core library as I speak to you. I love this. I love the fact that he's in talking to me from the core library, ladies and gentlemen. It's massive. Who knew? I'll have to get out there
Very
one day.
big facility. It's well worth seeing.
And that's got a lot of information for you, which makes it so you can do smarter drilling. But when are you going to be drilling next? And how deep will you go?
Yeah, we're in the process of an RC program will kick off, which we've sort of increased the size of that based on the results of the first few holes. So we'll do, in the range of 1,500 meters of RC, which will be following up some of these historic gold intercepts, looking for extensions. We'll start to plan some diamond core drilling as well, which will be, following up from some of the results we've had this week. We'll do a bit more geophysics to extend, in particular a zone of resistivity, which marks the target zone that I'm talking about, and that's looking like it's a big, strong zone of resistivity in the geophysics, which the drilling results we put out this week is indicating is bearing gold. So we've got a couple of holes which has intersected this zone of geophysics in the resistivity, which is bearing gold associated with silicious alteration.
How deep is that?
Yeah, the resistor sort of kicks in at about 200 meters down. Okay. So yeah, we'll continue to test that zone because that's the real game changer. If we can demonstrate that that's mineralized silicious alteration, then it looks like it's an extremely large zone. That's the sort of where we think this could be a 3 kilometer long zone. We need to do a bit more geophysics to extend that signature. So yeah, we'll be drilling, by the end of this month again. We'll look to deliver increasing news flow into the market. Also some results of what we've been doing here at the core library on the historic core. We're very, very happy with the results that we're getting out of scanning some of the old core is supporting our ideas. And it's not costing us very much.
Was that old core not assayed for gold in the past, or I mean, it's been sitting there?
Yeah, that's right, and that's what can happen. Until someone comes along with a different idea, it stays here. But they look after it, they've preserved it, and they'll slowly reprocess it. Scan it through some of the equipment they have here. But we're very engaged with what they're doing. They're helping us out in terms of prioritising some of the holes that we'd like results for. Okay. And we'll integrate that into our exploration strategy. So it's ideal. We're able to leverage this facility in a really cost-effective way.
2 questions for you, Peter. First of all, what's your biggest challenge right now?
Challenge right now. Lab turnaround times are getting better, I would say, generally for the industry. We are blessed as far as being very close to the Orange laboratory, which is sort of the largest minerals laboratory in New South Wales. The project's about 45 minutes away from Orange, central western New South Wales. But yeah, really very comfortable that we've got a line of sight on what we plan to do, and not too many challenges in front of us, but the usual sort of exploration challenges of making things happen. But we've got a great team who are full of explorers. The team at Waratah, we're very much an exploration discovery-focused team. The team's made discoveries before, so we're looking to do it again collectively.
Now, Legacy Minerals are in the same sort of area in the Lachlan Fold belt. They've done a joint venture with Newmont. You're not very far away from Newmont. Are they sniffing around going, we should have taken up that land before you guys got your hands on it?
Newmont, the fresh owners, I guess, with the takeover of Newcrest.
Yep.
They're clearly showing an appetite to invest in gold exploration opportunities. So yeah, we certainly would be open to discussions with anyone that can sort of see the opportunity that we can. And from our point of view, we're looking for any way that we can add value for shareholders, namely via discovery.
Speaking of shareholders, am I right in saying that, because these are two big names in the gold space, Stuart Tonkin, Northern Star, Tim Goyder, are they on your register? Are they recent on your register? They quite like what you're doing out there. I think that caught my eye.
Yeah, correct. They're substantial on our register. They came on as substantial late last year, which sort of coincided with the rebrand and the acquisition of the Spur project. So no, they are, and Gladstone Mining, Stewie Tonkin's investment vehicle, and Tim Goyder, of course, are well known, and really assist us to have a strong and powerful register of supportive register, people that believe in what we're trying to do and what we are doing.
Have they been out to site? Have they looked at some of that over there, or they just go, we know what they've got their hands on? I just find it quite interesting because they're both very clever individuals in their own right, but they like what you're doing. So a little bit of a technical with the sound there, but you're back now, Peter. Let's wrap it up if you like, because I think it's really interesting times for you. Well done on what you're doing with Spur. I just want to ask you one quick question before we wrap it up with the three, and that is, the last time I spoke to you a year ago, you were looking at White Rabbit, the Victorian assets. You mentioned it right at the start of the conversation. When I last spoke to you, that was quite a solid asset for the company. Are you doing anything down there, or is the full focus on Spur?
Yeah, minimal amount at the moment. I mean, we didn't get the game-changing sort of gold numbers there that we were hoping for, but what we did see was wide zones of alteration, which is the right alteration for the gold to be in. So at some point, we'll look to chase those zones, but it's about applying the resources to what's the closest, the quickest way we can make a discovery for the company. So you've got to be focused as a junior explorer, and good technical work was done down there last year, and we'll look to add value and continue that at an appropriate time.
Okay, but the focus is Spur. The announcement was Spur. Wrap it up and talk to us about why you think people should set up and take notice of Waratah Minerals right now.
Sure, Kerry. Thanks. Yeah, it's the discovery, the timing in the discovery sort of process. We're at a very interesting time in terms of the cusp of a discovery. I think we're getting confidence that the geophysics may be mapping out where the gold and copper is. So we'll start to drill holes into there. So near-term discovery opportunity, number one. Number two, I guess, is we're very, very close to a globally significant mine and deposit complex, and one of Newmont's premier assets. It tells you a lot about the potential, I think, and the fertility of the area. And number three would be the team. We're building a team who are focused on making discoveries to add value to a small company. People in the team have done this before in their careers, and we're looking to do it again.
Well, and I would just point out to you, ladies and gentlemen, look, again, do your own research, have a look at all the information on the website. But Tim Goyder and Stewie Tonkin, they're no fools. Also, if you want to meet Peter in person, he will be at the Australian Gold Conference in August in Sydney, late August. I'm absolutely sure there'll be a lot more news by then and a lot more excitement around the area. But one of the things to look for is very close to Cadia, similar rocks, interesting times. I look forward to lots of news coming forward. And when you next get some news, Peter, hop back on and make sure you give us an update to all our beautiful community out there. But for now, thanks so much for joining me on Making Money Matter.
Thanks, Kerry. Great to be with you.